Questions, my dear friends, time was the most valuable thing in the world. We all knoft, we all say it, but the truth is, very few of us live it. Questions. Let me tell you a story today. A story of a lazy boy. A boy who thought time was unlimited, like the balance in his video game zones. First questions. He kept saying, "Do tomorrow will study, tomorrow will wake up early, and go as fat that to tomorrow never came." Third questions, Story begins. There was once a boy named Rohan. He had big dreams, he wanted to become successful, rich, famous and respected. Questions. But there was one small problem. He was lazy. He would sleep late, wake up late, procrastinate his homework, skip his exercise. Questions. And was strolling on his phone. His father often told him, "Better time is more precious than money." Questions. I Rohan laughed it off. Relax, Papa, I have plenty of time. On a day, his father gave him a bag full of 400 rupees and said, "Questions. Person you can spend it however you want. But remember, by the end of the day, whatever you don't do will disappear." Questions. I Rohan got excited, spent some, wasted some, and when Nick came, the leftover money vanished, sket he asked, "Povchy Papa?" Questions. Why did you take it away? His father smiled and said, "My son, every single day God gives you 84 seconds. If you waste them questions, they vanish forever. Time lost is life lost." In that day, Rohan realized he was used wasting hours, he was wasting his life. Questions. Microphone, my friends, we all are a little like Rohan. Aren't we? We say from tomorrow I will learn healthy. From tomorrow, questions. I will study harder. From tomorrow, I will walk on my dreams. But tomorrow never comes. Remember these questions. Procrastination is the grave in which opportunities are buried. Questions. Time is life, not just minutes, my dear friends. Let's pause and think fully about this statement. Time is life, not just minutes. Post questions. Too often we time in numbers hours, minutes, seconds just like figuring around the clock. Questions. But time is not used the tidstots of a watt. Time is literally the substance of our lives. When you waste monies, questions. You lose a commodity. When you waste thought, you lose a resource. But when you waste time, you are losing your life itself. Questions. Piece, moment. Imagine this, you have a bank account and every morning 84 rupees are deposited into it. Questions. The rule is simple, you can use in any way you like. But nicht, weil whatever you haven't used will disappear. No questions. Will you ever let that money go to waste? Of course not. You would use it wisely, maybe invest it, maybe help someone in need. Questions. Or at least enjoy it. You won't just throw it away. Yet the truth is every single day deposits 86 questions. 400 seconds into the bankstone of your life. And have it do the trough always strolling endlessly on social media. Questions. What think on a more episode or link thinking po 5 more minutes? Let me give you a very relatable daily life example. Questions. You're sitting at home, scrolling Instagram or YouTube. You tell yourself po just 5 minutes, I 5 minutes turn into 30 questions. 30 turn into an hour, and before you know it, 2 hours are gone. Questions, not imagine. If someone stole 2 hours of your money, every singled out you all of it, you'd haste them down, would you? Questions. But when time is stolen from distractions, laziness, or procrastination we don't react at all, because we forget questions. Time is our life. Think of your health. Every time you say, we'll exercise tomorrow, that's not just a postponed workout with questions. That's a piece of energy, your health, your future vitality being lost. Questions. Every moment of delay is a small subtraction from your lifespan. Or think of relationships. You're telling your parents questions. We'll call you later. You keep telling your children, we'll play with you tomorrow. About friends, on a day, questions. Either you or they will not be around, and that time will never return. The clock does stop. It keeps ticking, and with air ticks. Questions. You is moving forward, whether you say it well or not. Let me ask you this. How many times have you said questions? Where did the day go? Or this year passed so fast, that's not usual statement. Just as an, that's reminding us we are passing by questions. I will not wait for you. I antive don't attention. There is some weeks bet some months, and months bet some years. Questions. Until on I realize our dreams, our goals, questions. Our passions, they my dreams bet ourselves we never respect the time we had to them into reality. Let tell you a small story. Pos questions. A young boy once asked his grandpa, how much is on a second verse? The grandfather smiled and said questions. Pas the Olympic runner follows the goals the medal be on a tenth of a second. I the boy then asked questions. To how much is on a minute verse? I the grandfather replied. Pas the person for missed the train be used on a minute. Questions. I the boy then asked how much is was the grandfather said. Pas the student fontered the exam. Hone hour later. Questions. I the boy then asked how much is on a year verse the grandfather said. Questions. Pas the patient for dit for kak tsare of his health on a year suffering spend, and finally the boy asked o grandpa questions. How much is on a life verse? I the old man looked into his eyes and said, questions. Pas the man on his deathbed for wishes fused on a more moment to live. I friends, time is not a resource outside of us. Questions. Every day, every hour, every minute is a part of our life living us. Questions. We don't realize it, but also life te dost tawai in big hunks. It dost suddenly say questions. O today I am shooting of 20 years from your life. No. It takes it gently, silently, on a second at a time. Questions. That's why it's so important to treat every moment with such readiness. Vchen jo, vauke, up in the morning, don't see das jas just anoserdai questions. See tas a brand new leaf that has been given to you. But also yesterday is gone questions. Tomorrow is not promised today is all you truly have. Use it, live it, love it. Invest in something meaningful. And remember, questions. Friends, time is just about productivity. It's not only about finishing tasks or achieving goals. Time is also about presence. Questions. If you are with your loved ones, be present. If you are working on your dreams, be focused. If you are resting, restful. Questions. Don't live life half-heartedly. Vchen you are reles vis time, you reles vis life. So the next time you look at your what questions. Don't just see numbers moving around, see your life flowing, and ask yourself those questions. Am I spending days in momenta what adds value to me love with ones and to the world? But also if not, questions. 12 minutes will be gone forever. My frame is life just me not just mutes. And if you respect time, life will respect your batsk. Questions. Lost money can return, lost time cannot, my dear friends. Life has given us many valuable things, but among all those treasures, questions. Stand out. Money and time, most of us spend running for a living after money. We save, we earn, invest it, questions. And when it's gone, we worry about it. But here is the truth. Money can come back. You may lose a job today, questions. But you can get an answer tomorrow. Your bushines may face losses today, but with persistence and effort, you can rebuild it. Questions. You can go bankrupt and still bounce back. Many great entrepreneurs have done it. But when it comes to time, the rules are different. Questions. Once is gone forever. No forza, no power. No technology can a single moment back into your life. Questions. Let me explain this with a very simple daily example. Suppose you lost ₹1,000 today. You feel bad. Questions. But not tomorrow or next week. You can earn ₹1,000 again. Questions. But imagine losing just 10 minutes in an unproductive fict, in laziness, or in endless strolling. Questions. Can you ever get that 10 minutes back? No matter how you moet uhavene, you bui back and even on a second. Questions. If Bill Gates or Elon Musk wanted to purhase on an extra day olive cante. No. That is the life of time, it only moves forward. Questions. Never backward. Think about it in your own life. How many times have you told yourself, I'll make for this vast day tomorrow? Questions. But have you noticed that tomorrow come with its allens, its own challenges, own responsibilities? Time lost, today never returns tomorrow. Questions. Money can be replaced, but time is irreplaceable. That's why we say people say, if you waste money, you waste things. Questions. If you waste time, you waste life. I let me share a story. A young bojący asked a successful businessman, pounsle questions. How did you become so rich? The man smiled and said, Poson, I lost everything in my life, my wealth. my house, my company, questions, but time I rebuild it. Because money is like a shadow, if you have walking keep with determination. It follows you again post questions. But do you know I told never rebuild? That 20 years I spent being in class in my house. That time never came back questions. Ide bojasket, pobud dit you enjoy tose years. Ide bushinesman, siget and sight, pay talk I was enjoying, but in reality, questions. I was wasting. I told have built skills. I told have built relationships. I told built character. Money I regainet questions. But my use, my energie my tijd, returned. Ist dat so true for sto? We complain not about having no money questions. But the real poverty is when we don't value our time questions. You can lose it and today and still be well tomorrow if you use your time wisely. But if you waste time, questions, no amount of money can rescue you from that poverty. Let me give you another relatable picture, questions. A student wastes his entire year without studying and thinks will manage during exams. Questions. I have spent on a week trying to solve that he wasted in 12 months. A month. Even if he is the most expensive tuition, the best books, questions. The fastest internet he still cannot buy, but the chista days he wasted. That is the difference. Money can buy resources, questions, but it cannot buy bad time. Even in relationships, this truth is evident. Many people have money their whole life, questions. Thinking they will later spend time with their family. A father tells his child, he'll play with you on the weekend. Questions. That weekend never comes. He thinks, he'll retire and then enjoy life. But by the time retirement comes, post questions, health and energy are gone. You can buy your toys with money, but you cannot buy back the time you should have spent with them. Questions. You can buy your parents' medicines with money, but you cannot buy back the evenings you should have spent talking to them. And these questions, my friends, is the greatest tragedy of human life. We give time, aber so erschille viele holding, und to money so tickle questions. If a shopkeeper has you heu of storupes, you argue, you fict, but when social media, gossip, procrastination, questions, or laziness steals horse from your life every single day, you smile and say poets. E fine, questions. Because we don't realize that time is far more valuable than money. Think of a man on his deathbed. Questions. If someone offered him $1 billion in exchange for just on a more months of life, would he accept? Of course he would. Few questions. Because in the last moments of life, the truth becomes crystal clear. Money has value only because of time. Without time, questions, money is useless. What will you with all your wealth if you don't have the time to enjoy it, the time to share it, questions, or the time to live with it? So the next time, some you lose some money, don't worry too much. You can work harder, smarter, questions, and earn it back. But if you lose time, don't ever take it lightly, questions. De senson stat are passing right now as you listen to these words will never return. You can make another repair questions. But you cannot make another moment. That's the true als person is not the one with the most money in the bank questions. But the one foknovs hof to value and use his time. My dear friends, money is important no one denie stat questions. But let us never confuse importance with permanence. Money comes and goes, time only goes. And if you learn to respect time questions, life will take care of money too. But if you run only behind money and waste your time, you will eventually lose both. Remember questions. Lost money can return, lost time cannot. Questions. Small laziness creates big regrets, my dear friends. Life does not usuos sualle collapse because of on a big mistake. Life collapses slowly. Questions. Silently through small, da ilhuices that pile up over time. Laziness is on of those hoices. Questions. And the dangerous thing about laziness is this it feels harmless in the moment. You say, peil you sleep 5 more minutes. Questions. You say, peil do this task tomorrow. You say, pone skipped day won't matter. But here is the truth. One day becomest for questions. Two become 10 and before you know it, months are wasted. Small laziness creates big regrets. Think about it, questions. If you ignore your studies for just on a day, you don't immediately fail your exam. If you skip your workout on a day, questions. You don't suddenly become unhealthy. If you postpone a dream for on a day, first, does punish you instantly. Questions. That's why laziness feels safe. It deceives you into thinking nothing but is happening. But laziness like a slow poison. Questions. It does kill you at once, but it wakens you gradually until you the damage is already done. Questions. Let me give you a daily life example. Imagine a student who decides to skip studying today because he feels tired. Us questions. Will it tomorrow, he says. Tomorrow he skips again because he has a party. The next day he skips because to sleep. Questions. On a day at time the syllabus piles up. When exams arrive, he feels overwhelmed, stressed and unprepared. And what does he say? Questions. Do if only he had started earlier. It has regret born out of small laziness. Or take health as another example. Questions. On a day you skip exercise. On a big deal you say. Another day you eet jong foto at latte at night. Another day you sleep at 2. Questions. On a day at a time your body is selecting the interest of your laziness. And then suddenly, years later, questions. You wake up with health issues. At that time you regret. You say poi if only had taken care of myself earlier. Again, questions. Small laziness creates big regrets. The same is true in relationships. You don't call friend but today. Will do it tomorrow. Questions. You skip spending with your parents today. O they will always better. Questions. You ignore saying pe love your thing you to your spouse today. But they already know. Just questions. It is a small acts of laziness don't destroy relationships overnight, but slowly people begin to feel distant, unimportant, unloved. Questions. And on a day when relationships break, you should visregen say, po if only I had valued ten fen, I had de hanse. Friends, questions. Regret is the heaviest lugage in life, and it is almost always born from laziness, not from trying and failing. If you try and fail, questions, you learn and you move forward. But if you never try because of laziness, you carry regret forever. Questions, let me tell you a story. Was onze armer had a small field. Every day he told himself, but tomorrow will plow. Questions. Tomorrow I will sow the seeds. Tomorrow I'll water the plants. Tomorrow, until on a day, the season passed. Questions. He sat in his empty field, what hink his neighbors harvest their crops. Tears filled his eyes as he spared. Questions. But if only he had worked on time. His regret was not that he didn't know how to farm. Questions. His regret was that laziness had stolen his harvest. Those stories son unlike olives. We all have a field so careers, questions, our health, our relationships, our dreams. Every day we are supposed to plant seeds busing ou cinco time visele. Questions. But laziness makes us postpone. And when the season of opportunity passes, we are left with an empty field and a hair full of regret. List questions. Let's make it more personal. Close your eyes and think, how many times have you said, "I'll do it later"? Questions. How many books are link unread? How many skills are left unlearned? How many dreams are left untouched? Questions. One of them is a said waiting for you to ask. But if you let laziness win, those seeds will die and regret will remain. Questions. Another thing about laziness is this: it never shows up as a monster. It shows up disguised as comfort. It tells you questions. Relax a little more. You deserve it. It whispers, but don't work so hard today, you eat tomorrow. And in the name comfort. Questions. It steals your future. Remember this. Comfort today often becomes discomfort tomorrow. Questions. A little laziness today can turn into a lifetime of regret tomorrow. So what is the solution? Awareness. Questions. Every time laziness tempts you, ask yourself questions. Tam hosing comfort enough at the cost of regret later, it that on a question can hang your life. Questions. Imagine if every time you alar to snozelam you ask it yourself. Po even 10 more minutes of sleep enough? Questions. Odo even 10 years of regret later suddenly, the hoice betsu clears. Friends, questions. The most successful people in the world are not the most talented or the most intelligent. Questions. They are simply the phones fusetole fusines take over their lives. They understand that success is built not in on a day questions, but in small daily disciplines. Just as laziness compounds discipline regrets into success. So next time you feel lazy, questions, remember this. You are not just postponing a task, you are creating regret. You are hosting to carry a heavy burden into your future questions. And vhitsari regret vhen you can carry results. Mudeafiens questions. The cost of laziness is always greater than the effort of discipline. Discipline may feel painful enough, but regret is painful forever. Questions. Jose Visele. Because small laziness creates big regrets. Questions. Every day is 86 400 seconds gifted me their fiends. Questions. Imagine someone waking up to you every morning with a huge bag full of 386 400 shining gold coins. With questions. They place the bag in your hands and say, "These are yours. Spend them however you want." But at midnight, questions. Whatever you don't use will vanish forever. And tomorrow morning, I'll give you another 86 400 coins. Questions. I will treat teach coins as precious. Would you suren make single one was wasted? Of source you would. You will plan questions. Invest you would in perishable coin. But the truth is every morning gives you exactly that 86 400 questions. And how often do we let them slip through our fingers without even noticing? Seconds may sound small, but they boil up into minutes. Questions. Minutes into hours, into days, and days into years. And when you put them all together, they form your entire life. Every law questions, every tear, every achievement, every regret, they all matter of seconds. That is why there is not just another 24 hours. Questions. It is a fresh gift of 86 400 opportunities. The question is how far we spending them. Let me give you a simple daily example. Questions. Think of the time you spend commuting to in traffic or meetings for a bus. Many of us wasted that time being irritated. Questions. Strolling endlessly or zoning out. But what if those minutes as part of your 86 400 gift? Questions. You should listen to an audiobook, call a loved one practice gratitude, or even use breath mindfully. Suddenly, questions. Wasted time becomes invested time. The value does lie in the length of the second, but in how we use to use it. Questions. Novels look at relationships. Imagine a father coming home tired after work. His child runs to him saying, "Oh papa," questions. "Play with me," but the father drained says, "Oh not today better, maybe tomorrow." On a second of attention, questions. On a second of love flowed heavily up that his hair, but it was missed. The seconds were lost forever. Questions. You can buy your hill toys with money, but you cannot buy back those seconds presence. Every hook, every conversation, questions. Every shared smile is made of seconds. And if we don't give those seconds today, we regret tomorrow. The same applies to all health. Questions. Someone on the side, but if you don't spend a 5 seconds on exercise today, you will spend hours in hospitals tomorrow. Post questions. Just 20 minutes of stretching, just a 5 seconds of housing a free over young photos, small investments in your 86 questions. 400 seconds save you from regrets later. Every set you spend caring for your body is not wasted questions. It is multiplied into years of vitality. and fhat about dreams, maneofus sai, pone dai il vritet bok questions, one dai il start tat bushines, one dai il lean tat instrument. E but me friends questions, tat one dai vil on le arrive i ve invest our 86, 400 secons visele, dreams don't net years at 11 questions, te just net consistent secons vere dai, vrite for 15 minutes, practice for 20, learn for 30, slowest questions. Your secons turn into skills, your skills turn into success. But if you don't invest to die secons questions, tomorrow's dream will always remain a dream. Let me tell you a story. Tere was onze a man fått hotrate very die like a gift of time questions. Every morning he wrote in his journal o todaj I have been given 86 400 secons questions. Ho will I usetem he madesure to spend time with his family, to work exercise, to meditate, to help others. Questions. He wasn't perfect sometime sleepet, but sauce he saf as a gift, he lived intentionally. At the end of his life, he said questions, they might not have achieved everything, but you said fat, I was given. E compared isto a nose moser manfho lived without awareness, questions, wasting holes in distractions, pushing important things for tomorrow. And at the end of his life, he created questions. Boni foni had valued medais. I de difference was not in Hoffman's secons they were given they both received the same 86 questions, 400 dai. The difference was in teuset them. Friends, time is not so messing the past through questions. Time is the material of our lives. Think of Annette's klatse. Beat my log small, but hen strung togese questions. They make so messing beautiful. Second jorda is like a beat. Vaste tambe questions. And the next klatse of your life betsome werk unbroken. Use tem well, and your life betsomes a masterpiece, post questions, heres a thought experiment. Imagine Someone told you that today is your last day. You have only te 86, 400 secons left. Questions. Would you waste them on gossip, on anger, on laziness? No, you would want to spend with your loved ones, doing meaningful things, questions, living fully. Nof, my friend, the truth is, none of us knows if they will be our last. So we not live every day as if to 86 questions. 4 secons are the most precious treasures, but also they are questions. The beauty is that you don't need to do extraordinary things to value your secons, questions. Ordinary things done with awareness turn into extraordinary memories. Sitting with your family at dinner, but truly listening questions. Walking in the park, but truly not teaching the trees, the fresh air. Working on your task, questions. But doing it with focus instead of half-heartedly. Every second ten becomes alive, meaningful, powerful. Some dear friends, questions. Every morning when you wake up, remember, life has deposited 86 400 secons into your sound. Don't waste them waiting for posomedai, questions. I don't throw them away on things that don't matter. Use them to love, to grow, to serve, to live. Questions. But also when the clock strikes midnight, they vanish forever. but devai you spend tem todai will echo in your memories tomorrow. Questions. Every dais 86 400 seconds gifted. Usem visele and you will create not use dice, but ali favors remembering. Questions. Procrastination is a if they are friends. Have you ever noticed how procrastination always guises itself as a friend? Questions. It whispers softly, and don't worry, you can do it tomorrow. It convinces us that postponing is harmless, even with questions. But also it promises us comfort today. But behind its gentle voice, procrastination is not a friend to end, is a thief. Questions. At yet steals our time, our opportunities, our growths, and eventually our future. Questions. The most that we think about procrastination is that it does hurt immediately. If you toch fear, you would instantly questions. If you had spoiled thought, you fall sick the same day, but when you procrastinate, you don't feel the damage right away. Questions. You delay your studies for on a day nothing happens. You delay your health routine for on a week, still nothing visible. Questions. You delay having your dreams for a year, life still moves on. But slowly, silently. Questions. Procrastination is stealing your most precious resource. Time. Let's take a simple daily life example. Questions. A student knows he has some months away. He plans to study today, but procrastination whispers, you have plenty of time. Questions. Start tomorrow. I tomorrow arrives and the same voice is relax on a more day won't matter. I days pass, weeks flee. Questions. And suddenly the night before the exam arrives. No panic sets in. The student burns the midnight oil, but deep down he regrets. Questions. But if only he had started earlier. And no teacher, the exam was the real problem. Post questions. The thief calculated procrastination had been stealing his preparation day after day, feel he smiled and let it. Questions. Procrastination doesn't only rob students, it robs professionals too. Questions. Think of an employee who knows he needs to upgrade his skills to grow in his career. He plans to learn a new software. Questions. Attend a workshop, read a book, but the very day he says will start next week, suddenly gobe, years no longer hanges. Questions. The company hanges, and he is left behind. His regret is not that he lacked intelligence, questions, but that kept postponing action until it was too late. And fat out health, about health. How many times have you told yourself, from Monday, questions start exercising. From next month, il et real sera. Next year, il fix me life stille. Et my friends, Mondays come and go, questions. Months pass, years, but at the start never arrives. And then on a day, the dot store gives you a report that says, one of its serious questions. And at that moment, you realize that procrastination has already stolen your energy, your fitness, your freedom. Questions. The tragedy is not that health was lost overnight, but that procrastination exhausted at a time. Even in relationships, with questions, procrastination is dangerous. You knów show to some apologize, but you delay. Jo knof jo should express love post questions. But post jo knof jo should spend more time with your parents. But jo keep saying o later. And then on thy questions, later never comes. The person is gone, the opportunity is gone, and you are left with the thief's cruel gift regret. Questions. Let me share a story. There was once a man who always said he would write a book. He had ideas, he had stories, he had wisdom, questions. Wherein his friends asked, he would smile and say on il start. You used waiting the right time. Years passed, questions. The zade slipped by, and on a day he greffold. On vis de asbet have his spirit, podi ha a book in sideme, but he never wrote it, questions. It has had procrastination does it still not used your time, but also the best version of that should have been. Friends, questions. Procrastination is not used delaying tasks, it is delaying life. Every time you say, but tomorrow, questions. I remember that you are letting the thief enter your house todo day. And the sad part is questions. Procrastination does you steal your present, it also steals your future. Questions. But also the future is nothing but the accumulation of what you do with your todays. If you waste today, you damage tomorrow. Questions. The cure to procrastination is action small, simple immediate action. You don't need to climb a mountain today. You take on a step. Questions. If you need to study, open the book and read on a page. If you need to exercise, just start with 10 minutes. Questions. If you need to call someone, just dial the number. The moment you take action, procrastination loses its power. Think of it this way. Questions. Procrastination is like as of it looks big and starif when you stand still. But the moment you start moving, questions. The shadow shifts and shrinks. Action is the light that passes away procrastination. Now, let's test ourselves. Questions. Hoffman im have you wasted horse strolling on your phone only to say later, I had no time to die. The truth is, questions. You had time you used let procrastination steal it. Questions. How many dreams are you still keeping in your hair because you're waiting for the perfect time? The truth is, questions. This. The perfect time will never come. The only perfect time is now. My dear friends, ask yourself today, questions. What has procrastination already stolen from me? Has it stolen my grades, my health, my opportunities, my paths, my dreams? Questions. And then ask yourself, am I still going to let the thief live in my house? Questions. Or am I going to lock the door today by taking action right now? Remember this, procrastination is a thief. Is still silently questions. But it loves behind loud regrets. Don't wait for the future to prove this to you. Decide today, today, move today. Questions. But also very second you hesitate, the thief is at work, but very second you are reclaiming your life. Questions. Urgent faues. Important, my dear friends, one of the greatest challenges of life is not deciding between good and bad. Questions. Most of us already know what is good and what is bad. The real challenge is deciding between urgent important. You see questions. Urgent things strain for our attention, but importance whisper. Urgent things push us, but important things shape us. And sadly, questions. Many of us spend our entire lives having urgent tasks, feel ignoring the important honest until it's too late. Questions. Think about your daily life. Your phone buzzes with notifications, messages, emails, reminders stay all same urgent. Probably enough, good questions. It'ay demand, bopen me immediately, it'ay showed. And so we spend hours attending to the urgent questions. But what about the important things reading about that grows your mind? Exercising to protect your health questions. Spending time with family, nurturing your dreams. They don't stream. They don't have alarms attached. They simply wait for your questions. And when you ignore them long enough, they get lifted away, leaving you with regret. Let me give you a simple example. Questions. Imagine you have an assignment due tomorrow. You panic, you rush, you stay up late. It feels urgent and so you do it. Questions. But what about the habit of studying every day? That is important. If you had focused on that questions, you would never have had to face the urgent panic at all. In other words, when you neglect the important questions, life punishes you with the urgent. Take health as another example. Questions. Eating fast food because you are too busy feels urgent, you are hungry enough. You need to fix it quickly. Questions. Exercising feels unimportant because it does demand immediate attention. But over time, questions. Ignoring the important leads to health problems, and suddenly the urgent shows up in the form of a hospital emergency. Those tests questions. Medicine stay albetsome urgent. Had you respected the important earlier, you would be trapped by the urgent enough. Questions. The same truth applies to relationships. Answering vox may feel urgent, but talking to your parents, your spouse. Questions. Your children feels less urgent. You say, pale do it later. Tell, understand. But on a day, later never comes. Questions. And when relationships start breaking, it suddenly feels urgent to repair them. But bedamage is the help. Once again, questions. Neglecting the important invited the urgent crisis. Friends, urgent things are like weeds in a garden, they grow fast. Questions. They demand your attention, but they don't make the garden beautiful. Important things are like seeds, they take time. Questions. They need nurturing, and they don't shout for attention. But if you plant them daily, on a day they give you a garden of blessings. Questions. Let me share a story. There was once a young man who worked very hard in his office. He was always busy, always running. Questions. Always saying, oh, this is urgent. He must finish it. His boss praised him, his colleagues admired him. But at home, questions. His wife and children were waiting. Every day, they asked, can you spend time with us? He says, say, we will, but not today. Questions. Years passed. The children grew up. His wife grew distant. Finally, on a day, his family left him saying, questions. The jou gave us everything urgent, but never had was important. The man wept, questions. He realized he had converted the adlines but lost his lifeline. That is the cost of mixing up uren again and important questions. Who fall into this trap? Because the urgent things are loud and visible. Viele importance are silent and invisible. Questions. No one will fear you for not exercising, but your health will silently decline. Questions. No one will scold you for not spending with family, but your relationships will slowly weaken. Questions. No one will notice if you don't walk on your dream today, but on a day you'll notice a life unlived. Questions. Here is a practical way to think about it. Urgent things demand your attention, not questions. But important things determine if you will live a meaningful life later. If you only respond to the urgent, you will survive. Questions. If you prioritize the important, you will thrive. Let's do a little reflection exercise. Ask yourself questions. What urgent things are taking over my life? Maybe it's endless emails, stand calls, small crises, questions. And what important things am I ignoring? Maybe it's your earnings, your dreams, your family. Remember, questions. Urgent things give a temporary satisfaction, but important things give a lasting fulfillment. Another example, questions. Suppose you have a leak tap at home. Fixing it feels urgent, but learning how to manage your money properly, that feels less urgent. Questions. Yet, fijone shapes your life more in the long run. The important things might not give you immediate results. Questions. But even bigger problems tomorrow. My dear friends, if you truly want to live without regrets, questions, you must learn not to same things so urgent things so yes to important things. Because of hen, the end of life comes. Questions. Nobody says, by wish I transferred more emails. But man say, by wish I had spent more time with my family. Questions. I wish I had taken care of my health. I wish I had followed my passion. I those are the whispers. The important things we ignored. Questions. So next time you feel trapped burgency, pause aus and ask, will this matter 5 years from now? If yes, is important. If not, questions. It is probably just urgent noise. Priorities that the things that will you haraster, your health, relationships, your dreams, questions. Those are the treasures hidden in the gviet, waiting for you to host them. Urgent faues, questions. Important it may seem like a small hoitse day, but over a lifetime. It makes the difference between regret and fulfillment. Questions. Don't let the urgent steal your life. Live for the important.